All right, guys, so for this video, I'm going to do a little bit of a demonstration, and I want you to make a prediction about it. So what we have here is we have a metal brass hoop, and we also have a wooden disc. And you'll notice that both of these have exactly the same radius or diameter. They also have the same width, okay? And if we put them on a scale, they have close to the same mass. They're not exactly the same. The brass hoop is a little bit heavier than the wooden disc. So my question in this demonstration is going to be this, and I'm going to ask you to kind of predict what's going to happen. So behind me, I set up a ramp using a plank, and I'm going to put these two objects at the top of the ramp. We're going to release them, and they're going to roll down to the bottom of the ramp. What I want you to predict is which one do you think is going to reach the bottom first, or do you think they're both going to reach the bottom at the same time? And think about what physics principles might help you to answer this question. Okay, so I'm going to set it up, and then we'll run it a couple of times to see. Okay, here we go. Ready? In 3, 2, 1. So we see that the disc can get out ahead of the hoop by quite a bit. It wasn't really even very close. So is that what you predicted or not? That's what I want you to think about. Let's run it one more time. So we'll set them up. And 3, 2, 1. And again, we see that the disc gets out ahead of the hoop pretty readily and pretty quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you some data for different objects that are rolled down a ramp like this one. And what I want you to look at is how they accelerate down the ramp. What I'm asking you to do is to look for what kind of patterns are you starting to see in the data? What is it? What property or properties of the object make it roll down the incline with a higher acceleration or with a lower acceleration compared to the other? Because many of us probably would have predicted that they were going to roll down the incline at the same rate, but that's obviously not what happens in reality. So trying to see, what is it that makes an object roll down an incline quicker than the other is what we're trying to figure out. So I want you to investigate by looking at the data, try to come up with a pattern in the data, and then we will obviously have conversation about this in class.